about it. Figure it out.
Hey, JB, I'm on the ice with these kids, like college kids, USHL kids, OHL kids, every day right now. You wouldn't believe what I can't say to them, what I used to say to them 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's just different, man. They even talk back to me. I made this kid go down and back today. Because I was like, hey, man, you missed the low blocker the last 3 shots. He goes, no, I didn't. I was like, what? Like, if you're going to talk back, at least be good. Down and back.
Yeah, down and back. There it is.
Followed up with a why. Why do I need to go down and back?
Tell me more. Yeah. I don't agree with that.
What is, like, you hear the buzzwords from the coaches, holding the standard, hunting the standard, and culture.
Ugh,
you know what
business
really,
jargon.
You know what it really, it's so annoying, right? But you know what it is really is, if I tell a goalie before the exercise begins that I need you to be like a lion in the Serengeti attacking that puck and getting it like you haven't eaten in 2 weeks. And then he lets a soft rebound out and lets it go in on a rebound or doesn't chase and try and freeze it. At the end of the exercise, I just say down and back. Like, that's holding them accountable. They want to learn how to compete, they just don't know how. And I think in a lot of cases, NHL players still have to be held accountable. And I wasn't kidding what I said last week. If you pay the coaches too much, they're not going to stick their neck out as much. It's just the way it is. I remember talking to a GM about this a little while ago, and I said, why don't you pay the scouts more? You know what he said? If you pay them too much, they won't stick their neck out to make a call on a guy. Something to think about, right? If you pay them too much, are they going to stick their neck out and not make a call on a guy? Or if you pay them the right amount, that sweet spot of money, then they want to move up the ladder, so they will stick their neck out.
Right.
And that's where I wonder if the coaches aren't falling into that same trap.
Why do you think our show's so good? It's because we're vastly underpaid.
Well, you got me.
I got nothing to lose.
We got nothing to lose.
Hey, you know what I really liked from your show yesterday, talking to Chris Pronger, when he was talking about being 2 feet away from the net. That was a nice one. As soon as he said it, I wrote it down, Borny, and then when it came back on, you said the same thing.
Yeah.
So I looked it up because I really, I'm trying to get teams and players to understand how valuable broken plays are. Well, what Pronger's saying is I want to be away from the net so I'm not a broken play going off my skate into my own net. So the broken play goal that went in more than any other goal this year was the attempt east to west across the front of the net, tight to the net. And it scored 115 goals this year on 333 chances. And the next closest broken play was 95 goals on a layered screen off point shots. So the more valuable broken play is the east to west at the top of the crease than it even is from the point, if you can believe that.
Excellent stuff, buddy. Excellent stuff as always. So appreciate you on a Tuesday, pal. Thanks for doing this.
All right, boys. I might not see you again. Have a great summer.
Oh no! Hey!
No.
What?
Yeah. We got a year-end show here.
We'll talk.
Thanks, Valley.
Buddy, you disappear on us, it's over.
Let's put a pin in that one.
Hey, can we edit that out on the podcast? Valley's telling us he's done for the year.
Hey, fair. It is June.
Great stuff.
We have wrung a lot of juice out of that man.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. Anyway.
Game time there, Sammy boy.
Sure. It's game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app, play the odds, and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. And in another edition of Deep Regrets that Sam McKee didn't bet, the Conn Smythe futures. The favorite for the Conn Smythe that I brought up on this very show mere days ago.
Bam, send it.
It is absolutely Sam Bennett, the favorite for the Conn Smythe Trophy at plus 125. And when I talked about it, it was plus 1,400.
I don't think he needs to score another goal. They just need to win 2 games.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys how sure you were that he was scoring as soon as he broke in on that breakaway? I was like, I honestly just turned off the TV.
There's no part of the deke where you felt like Skinner had a hope.
No.
Okay.
But hold on.
Is he? Okay, go ahead.
Here's my thing with the whole Sam Bennett's going to win the Conn Smythe thing. No. I think I'm about to make a very reasonable point. If you asked Florida who was more important, before every game I could remove Barkov or Bennett from your lineup, I think they would all say Barkov's our most important guy. If Barkov's not in, I don't think Bennett has the chance to be who he is. And I know it's just about how matchups fall. Bennett plays like 16 and a half minutes.
I know.
Barkov's out there 21-30 against top guys. But he's more important.
But he's more important. Yes, no one will argue that. But Bennett's had more important impact plays, if that makes any sense. And that's what it is. That's what the Conn Smythe is. It's like
Barkov's the wind beneath his wings.
Who stands out when the game's on the line, or there's a difference maker in a goal or a play? And Bennett's had a number of those.
For sure.
And he's not the most important player, and he's not their best player, but he's had that window where he's been the most impactful.
And he defines their culture more than Barkov does. Like when you think of the Panthers, you think about the guy
but
who
the
hits.
the hit before the breakaway.
Yeah, he plows Podkolzin, and then he goes and
Come on.
leads the rush on a breakaway.
That was close to a bad scene.
Yeah, it was.
It's
You know,
a
but that
classic
It's a
Bennett
memorable
headhunting.
goal.
yeah, for sure. Listen, no argument. He has been the Florida Panther. You're like, I remember him from that playoff push, or
And
that cup
I
push.
think he's underrated with his hockey IQ and even his skill.
Kipper, there is zero part of Sam Bennett that is underrated right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the rating of Sam
I mean,
Bennett is.
Well, no.
If anything, he is bordering on extremely overrated.
It wasn't that long ago. Someone on this panel, not me or you,
Yes.
said, "I'm not paying that for 60 points this season." And he
No,
very
51's his career high. Let's be clear.
51. Okay,
Yeah.
worse.
Buddy, 8 years, you're going to get 40-point seasons, and he's going to be 35. And, you know, it's.
Yeah,
you got to be
I get
careful with this deal.
I know. I know.
You want to pay for the future, not the past.
These type of deals that
Do
we're
not be careful.
These type of deals that we're looking at moving forward, they never really age well for anybody.
Fortunately, the cap's going to go way up over his deal. So.
And last thing before we go, another big week in the PGA Tour, U.S. Open this weekend at Oakmont, where I've seen enough videos of rough
Oh
and
my
fast
God.
greens, and they're shaving the fringes, and they're trying to make it look like it's the hardest thing on earth. But Scotty Scheffler is the big favorite at plus 280. Bryson DeChambeau, the next favorite, plus 750. Rory all the way down at 13-1. John Rahm, 12-1. And Xander Schauffele at 24-1 to round out the top five for the favorites. So there you go.
You should be able to see some white on a ball.
They cut I heard that they did cut some of the rough.
Well, they cut it, but I saw it didn't look like anything was coming off.
It's too hard. It's too hard. It's just stupid.
I'm among the crowd that likes to see these guys tortured a little bit. So,
Anyways, that was Game Time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and find out why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. It's 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll get into a little bit more of what we saw last night and what we didn't like to see out of the Edmonton Oilers. Where was the toughness when you needed it? That and more
tried.
when we return to Real Kipper and Bourne. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kipper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kiprios, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Last night disappointed me for no other reason that I thought that the Oilers could fight fire with fire last night, but I only saw fire from one side.
But didn't you think the Oilers were trying to stick up for themselves, to fight fire with fire? You know, like they didn't go quietly into the night. It was stuff happened.
Yeah, no, I got a little quietly into the night.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got it. I got quietly into the night.
You had Frederick chasing around Bennett.
That's
trying
okay.
to,
It's okay. That's one good component.
There's a brawl.
Okay.
I don't think they went quiet. I mean, they lost 6-1 in the Stanley Cup final. So,
But who's just beating up on Ekholm along the boards? Greer?
Greer.
I hated that. That bothered me. It was a bad look.
Like Ekholm ends up in Wallman's arms.
Yes. And that's, I'm telling you, I've been in that position before, and there's a few guys that I felt like could not end the game on the bench. They had to have been escorted off the ice.